And men tend to express their emotions, not always, but whether it's shutting down or just being angry. Like the majority of male in therapies that I work with, they're like, my wife sent me here because she said I have anger issues. And a lot of the time they just feel, frustrated. They might feel disappointed. They might feel stressed. The stress is a big one, but they just don't know how to process those feelings. They don't know how to talk about those feelings. So then the only emotion that they are able to show is anger. And of course, you're going to have a wife like, why are you angry all the time? But then it's like they don't know how to express. They don't have the emotional vocabulary to say, "Oh, I'm feeling stressed, and that's why I had a hard day at work today," or I'm feeling disappointed because I didn't get the promotion that I thought I was gonna get. Which that can turn into a conversation if I know how I feel and if I know how to express it. But if I keep it all in, I'm just angry and people are only gonna see anger. My wife sees anger, my kid sees anger, then I don't know how to call it because I don't know how I feel, then let alone I'm gonna explain this to them. Or even to the wife, right? I mean, I think that's that should be like your number one person. And that's something that I see also whether individual therapy or couples therapy too, where it's like he's always angry. Like I don't know what's wrong with him. And then we dive in deeper than that, and then next thing you know, it is all the other stuff that are happening, other stressors actually, but it's just that you just don't know how to communicate that.
Yeah. I loved how you said anger and then also shutting down for men when it comes to expressing emotions. Something I realized was um, if I don't express my anger, I can shut down, but shut down is like stonewalling. Why do you think people stonewall?
Well, there's different reasons. I think, shutting down or stonewalling, sometimes it's just, I just feel so overwhelmed and that I just freeze and I just don't know how to respond to this.
Is that the
Um,
same thing as stonewalling?
yes, I think so.
Hmm.
What's your definition of stonewalling?
Just kind of being quiet, uh, avoidant, not saying anything, not pointing your anger. Just kind of walling it off, closing it away. It makes me think of this set of lyrics from a song by Zayn where he says, um, "I won't cover my scars, I'll let them bleed, so my silence won't be mistaken for peace." It's kind of like making a show of your anger, but not channeling it, just showing it.
Mm. I like that actually. But yes, it is the same thing. Shutting down, stonewalling. Because at the end of the day, you're just keeping it all in, which I can see that it's out of protection. I can see it, and I've heard this also. It's like I need like my shutting down is just kind of like a way of just not dealing with the conflict, avoiding, because then things could escalate. And to a certain extent, I can see the goodness. Because if you have a wife that is, tend to express their emotions, which, then the other partner, meets her there, then we're gonna have a terrible, we're gonna have a war at home. I mean, so I can see the good. I can see where you want to kind of have like the balance. But what happened is that when the shutting down or the stonewalling, they don't know how to communicate their feelings. They don't know how to express their needs. They don't know how to express their wants. Even after, let's say, a conflict, ideally, yes, you do have the conflict. You take a time out, kind of break from each other because there's, physiological stuff happening in our body, in our brain when we're angry. So we usually, recommend in couples therapy, you take a time out just to do some grounding exercises, just to kind of calm down your nervous system. And then ideally within 48 hours, based on Dr. Gottman research, which he's amazing. Everything about Dr. Gottman, I highly recommend for couples therapy. He recommends you want to come back to each other within 48 hours just to make sure that we address what happened, just to give each other an opportunity to talk about what happened from your perspective, what happened from my perspective, where did it go wrong, and really address what happened. And then he says, if it goes beyond 48 hours, then those emotional wounds can turn into resentments over time.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of the time, I mean, a lot of people then just And that could be like cultural too, where we have an issue, we have a conflict, and we just don't talk about it, and then we act the next day like nothing happened. Where you just hurt me with the words you said yesterday, and now I'm just like, "Hi, good morning," like nothing happened, like, and we don't give that space to each other to really process, and sometimes even to even address and then forgive, to repair with one another, because repairing is like we're coming back to each other. Sometimes couples are just, any individuals might just kind of, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. And then we end the friendships and then we're done. And that sometimes are just kind of what I said, like lack of conflict resolution skills,
I have that
which
written down from you. I love that.
sometimes that is, and I know that's hard. Obviously, you can try to, come back to the person, try to like repair some things, but the other person needs to have the willingness to address that and to repair the relationship in the context of friendship or even just like in relationships with the sibling, with you and with the parent. It takes two, absolutely. So that's
Hmm.
another piece when you don't have control over somebody else decisions, but only yourself. You can do your part, but if the other person is not invested as much as you are, then you might have to just move on, unfortunately.
Yeah, you certainly need two hands to clap.